we are looking forward to our next projects going forward in the future.
Business partners limited. The entrepreneur's financier.
How do I stop my terror puppy from chewing my stuff?
Young dogs need lots of toys to chew.
Yeah, try that.
Terriers are super energetic. How about a run?
My attitude is, if you're happy when you're broke, you'll be happy when you're rich.
You strike me as the type of guy that was broken happy.
Yes, I was. I wasn't happy.
On this episode of Aspire, I sit down with the legendary entrepreneur, Mark Cuban, and he's not holding anything back.
Whatever excuses you have, they are no more. You've got to do it.
Can anyone be an entrepreneur?
Doesn't matter how many times you fail. You only have to do it one time. Every note gets you closer to a yes.
Today, Mark Cuban gets real about what it takes to build something that lasts, how you can start, how to stick with it, and how you can do it too. What do you say to someone who says, yeah, I don't like AI, I don't want any more technology in my life? What is the answer? Basically, do or die. What is left in your life for you to accomplish?
Oh, I'm just getting started.
I do not understand why you're not the president of this country. I know everybody asks you, but are you 100% sure?
Iemand die seerste plekke die onder hoor.
Alright, Mark, I'm so happy
Hoe
to
long's
have
een
you
beetje?
here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
No, I'm excited too. I couldn't be more excited. Obviously, you and I met on Shark Tank, which was, I don't know, a couple of years back now. I had the distinct pleasure of sitting next to you for 3 seasons.
Yeah, they always put the rookies in.
Wat sal jy sê is die seerste area?
As well. But you know,
Oh, good.
it was just a very good use of
Die
my
ene
time
binnearm,
during the pictures, or between
kop,
the pictures, I
nek.
could just like sit and
Just-
kiss you.
Ek het nou op so 'n ander program nou daar gekyk op TikTok, wat ek ook so gevolg met paats. En toe sê hulle jou kilibak. Ja, joh. Dink ek joh, wie wil daar binne gaan joh? Baie mense situasie. Maar nou nie in Suid-Afrika nie, maar oor see ja, daai kant is ja.
Back to school, finishing school.
Dit nou reg iets spicy eraan. Dan druk hulle
And it was just time. My kids are 15, 18, and 21. And, my oldest is going to graduate college next year. I just don't want to be in a position where, like, okay, I'm going to Shark Tank and you're gone, and I've missed a lot of it. And so that was one big piece, just spending more time with family and it was just time. You can only do the same thing
For so long. But it's interesting because you hear so many stories about women that give up certain things in work for the family, but not so many men talk about that and the trade-offs that come along with like working in that way. So it's kind of interesting to hear you admit it in a way.
Yeah, I guess I never really looked at it that way. It's just like, this is, when I look at all the things in my life that are important to me, that's at the top. And that wasn't always the case. I wasn't one of these people who balanced work and home. I was still a grinder, and when I was trying to climb, it was just like, let's go. And, let's get into the next chapter, let's get to the next level, whatever it was. And you have young kids, right? And they're real people, but they're not real people.
Yes.
Right? They miss you, but they don't know that you're gone, and they're happy in your home.
It's harder as they get older.
As they get older, they have their own lives and they want to do their own thing, and it's harder to insert yourself. It's like, I don't want you there, Dad, and then when that hits home.
Why did you stay for so long?
It kind of habit but more importantly, it sent a message, particularly to kids, that the American dream was alive and well. That, you saw all the people, that came in, Erica from Linda's, it's like, how do you get from there to here? And the example that it sets, all these things we're talking about, when you get to see somebody who's doing it, that went from just idea, didn't have anything.
Oh, really?
Boom, it just got
I say this all the time, it's like you cannot be what you don't see. And for me,
It's a great line.
it's a nice line, isn't it? But to me, it's so true because you have to be able to have, a representation of people that feel similar to you, that you can see yourself in. And every time I think that show to me, but it's true, isn't it so
That should be the
true?
tagline for the Shark Tank. It really should be. It really should be.
Do you feel like you made a lot of sacrifices? Have you been able to kind of, I guess, level with yourself on the sacrifices that you have made?
Yeah, I don't look at them as sacrifices along the way because I love what I do. I love what I did. I love the path that I took. But at some point, I have to be honest with myself that my kids are smart. They're going to do their own thing. We raise them to they're not gonna give a shit. You know?
That's it.
They'll go home for holidays,
Yeah.
and that'll like kill me, you know? And so I want to catch as many of those moments as I can. Maybe when they're all gone, living their own lives, having their own kids and all that, things will change, but for now, that was that.
It's a really good decision. It feels like a sound one. I want to go back to the
Sure.
beginning. I think
Are you
it's a
okay
good
with it?
decision. I'm at ease with it. I mean, I will miss you from my TV screen. That's
Right,
I mean, I feel like
whatever.
you were the reason that people watch that show. Like in some, I mean, you're one of the big reasons. You must know that about yourself. You were a huge draw on the show. I don't feel like anyone gives as good a honest advice as you do, and so I feel like you're a massive draw on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But I always thought it was entrepreneurs, right? Everybody played the game. What is it, you know, would I buy that company? Would I invest? You know, what do I think about the company? Will I buy the product? And then, you know, I would talk my talk and do my thing, which I had fun doing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think, you know, the show is long because it's about the entrepreneurs.
No doubt, no doubt. I just feel like the advice that you gave was the stuff that people were writing down.
Yeah, you know, and I
There's a lot
always
of
try to
value
give
to
good
that.
advice,
You
right?
did.
Because I wanted, you know, their whole life, you know what it's like, right? You start with nothing and it's just like, it's constant fear. You know, you might be fired up about your business and you might love it and you might, you know, in your mind, you have that path you're taking, but you're scared shitless half the time.
Yeah.
You know, one mistake and it's over. And so when they get to that carpet, they're one of, you know, the thousands of people who apply, and they get there, you know, if I have experience that can help them, I'm going to give it to them.
100%. I always felt the same like that. If somebody has made it here, the very least I could do was be honest.
Yes.
And tell them what
And
my
you
actual
always
opinion
will.
is. Yeah, and they can at least leave with something, even if they don't leave with an investment.
Because that's the goal, right?
Yes.
Even if it's not a check, right? Because that's the thing about a shark investing in you, it's not just the check. You know, there's other value and other value add that you can bring, and you were always really good about it. When they brought something that was in your wheelhouse, I was like,
I'm ready.
I'm out. Just like I'm like, do her thing, right?
You were like, do this stuff. I was like, Mom said I should do it.
Because you're good, right? It's just like, I can see the look on the face, the person staring right at you.
Right, no,
Right?
they do. When they want you, they're like right in your ears, and you're like, oh, it's me, I'm the chosen one. And then sometimes you're like, I ain't doing this. I don't care about you. I told me. I'm like, this is Mom, you doing this?
Anything, because that's the hardest part of Shark Tank is
Yes.
going out.
No, it's the hardest part. It really is. And also you feel, you know, I'm such an emotional girl, but I really felt, you can see how nervous they are, how much they're prepared. And to walk out with seemingly nothing, like, it's a lot.
Well, you know, the visibility is always good. Some of the companies end up better, right? Because someone else comes in and makes a better deal or buys whatever. But, yeah, you always had this vibe, which was like, I know your business. You know, I could help you.
Yes.
The question is, will I?
Will I?
Yeah.
Will I? I mean, you helped a lot of people. We're going to get into that. But before we talk any more about Shark Tank, I have to go back to the beginning because you are such a fascinating person. And while I was doing the research for this particular episode, I mean, I learned a lot. I thought I was a fan and I knew everything. No apologies needed. I was like, wow, he has done a lot, the most. But I really want to understand a little bit more about your upbringing and where you were from, and also just to understand, like, what gave you the entrepreneurial bug? Like, who did you learn that from?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't learn it from anybody. It was more my dad, in particular, and my mom, just saying, look, if you want something, you gotta earn it. You know, you gotta go do it. And the time I was a kid, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My dad did upholstery on cars, so if you had a rip in your car seat, that's where you take it. My mom did odd jobs, never had the same job for very long. You know, good middle class family. But it was always like, you want a new pair of basketball shoes? You go get a job. And so I would like buy and sell trading cards. I was Michael Rubin before Michael Rubin was Michael Rubin.
You know, I had Michael Rubin
Yeah,
on the
I know, I
show.
saw it,
It was
yeah,
like an
yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you say you were Michael Rubin before Michael Rubin because you have a very similar path in
Yeah,
so
no,
many ways,
he
right?
hustled and did his
Yes,
own thing, right?
yes.
That's why I respect Michael. And so, but anyway, so I would buy and sell trading cards to all my neighbors and everything. And then one day, my dad and his buddies were playing poker, probably drunk out of their mind, right? And I came in and I was like, Dad, I want to get a new pair of basketball shoes. He looks at me and says, those shoes are your feet. When you have a job, you can get whatever you want. I'm 12 years old. How am I going to get a job? And one of his buddies pops up and goes, hey, I've got all these garbage bags and you can sell them. There's boxes of garbage bags. I got hundreds of them. Why don't you go sell them? I'm like, can I have? He's like, go. And so I just went door to door selling garbage bags, and it was like, hi, my name is Mark. Do you use garbage bags?
And everybody does, by the way.
Everybody needs garbage bags. So I'm never forget, they cost me $3 a box. I sold them for $6, and I would drag them down to my neighbors. The world's first garbage bag route for, a year or whatever, and I got my tennis shoes, and I was happy. But once you learn that you can sell, and once you learn you have confidence in talking to people, you always have the ability to make money.
Yes, you do. I mean, and obviously understanding that from your parents for a young age must have been pretty formative. What else did they teach you?
My dad was gone at 7 a.m. and home at 6, and, he didn't want me to follow his path, basically. He would take me where he worked, and, I'd get $5 for sweeping the floor and cleaning things, not because he wanted me to make some money or whatever, but it was more, he wanted me to see how backbreaking it was. He lost his eye in an accident, and dad, and just, it was backbreaking work, and he wanted me to go to college. I mean, neither of my parents had gone, even though my mom, when she was 50, went back, but neither of my parents had gone to college. My mom was 20 years old. I mean, it was just a prototypical,
Different times.
yeah, different times. And I just, from that moment on, I was a hustler, I was the whole prototypical grinding all my life. I was selling baseball cards, garbage bags, magazines, door to door.
Coins, stamps, array, all the things, all the things.
Show, right? Start with 50 cents and leave with $50.
Amazing,
And
amazing.
once you figure out, this is how markets work, you can sell.
But you had it, right? It's like, when did the hustle turn into a thirst for entrepreneurialism?
After I realized I was a lousy employee and I was getting tired and couldn't stand it, then I had no
It's always
choice.
a signal, isn't it? You're like,
You're like, yeah, right? When it really hit was, I moved down to Dallas. I was living 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment, sleeping on the floor. And I got a job first as a bartender, then I got a day job working at a company called Your Business Software selling technology. And, didn't really know technology at the time, but I was like, I'll read the manuals, I'll do whatever. And it was going along great. I was making money, relatively speaking. And then I had a chance to get a big commission, right? So I had a chance to take
what was a big commission back then?
$1,500. Because that was enough for me to move out of the shithole I was in. Because I was sleeping on the floor.
Get away from the 6 other guys.
Sleeping on the apartment, right? And so I was like, okay, this will get me out. And so I called my boss, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get this check. Because I'm supposed to, sweep the floor, open up the retail store. He's like, no, I need you at the store. I'm like, Michael, I got you covered, right? And he goes, no, I need you to be in the store. So I'm like, okay, I need this commission check. If I go pick up a check for $15,000, the store needed it, he needed it, I show up and find it. Yeah, so I'm done there. All of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I got to control my destiny. I know I can sell. I know I can do this stuff. So I had a prospect, a company called Architectural Lighting, and I went to them and I said, look, I'm good, right? I don't have the money for this.
How old are you at this point?
24.
Okay.
So I've been through jobs and times, and so 24, almost. And so I went to this company, Architectural Lighting, and said, this software that you want is cost $250. If you give me $500, so I have something to live off for a couple of weeks. If it doesn't work, I'll walk your dog, I'll sweep your floor, I'll wash your car, whatever it takes. And it worked. And then I went to San did something similar to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And that was the company Micro Solutions. I went 7 years without a vacation. But 8 year in, we sold it to H&R Block. And that was my first exit there.
That's so crazy. Was that your first big yes? Like, was that the moment where you're like, I understand that I am good at something and I look after it?
Yes, because then once I got into tech, that was it. It was over. Because I loved learning it. Because the way I looked at it, because I didn't take computer science, so I was like, okay, I get this, because I like to learn this stuff. And I, even to this minute, putting in time to learn technology, it's fun.
Hey,
My brain just clicks with it. And I get excited about, okay, I'm learning this thing. And when you're learning stuff like that, and you have, a sales background, process background, you can start applying everything that you know to, like Shark Tank company, right? A Shark Tank company walks in a minute, I know exactly how they make money and what they do and what technology works and doesn't. And, that allowed me to be successful with Micro Solutions. After that, I bought and sold stocks, started a hedge fund and sold it within 9 months. We were just killing it, And so that's when I knew that I was on that.
And what did you learn from Micro Solutions? Because that was like a different time from a technology perspective, right? There's like, it was brand new and almost kind of like a wild, wild west in a way, right? Like, what did you actually figure out that no one else had figured out at that point?
What separated us, I figured out really early on that it was one thing to sell it to you. It was another thing even to write software. I taught myself how to code, to put
You
on.
taught yourself how
Yeah.
to code. How did you do that?
I would spend hours. Like I remember, I would have to write. I would walk into a company and say, okay, this will help you become more profitable, more productive, more profitable, better competitive advantage, right? The whole thing. And I'll write the software for you and cost you X amount of dollars. No matter how long it takes me, it'll be X amount of dollars. And so, the pressure was on me, and I would find myself, I'd look up, and I literally would have a bucket of ribs. Gross.
Bucket of ribs.
And like, oh, and I was just like, I gained like 20 pounds. Chomp on these ribs. But I looked up and it'd be 20 hours later, 25 hours later, because I was concentrating so hard, I lost track of time. And so I was able to take all that I learned, and then what I realized that really separated us was connecting pieces together was brand new. Back then people would have a floppy disk and they'd walk around, right? They couldn't connect their printers. Now it seems insane, but I would go to these companies. I'm going to show you how I can connect all these printers and all these computers together. You can share data, become more profitable, more complex, and I'll write software to make it easier. And then I knew I learned.
Have you always had that ability to like take, to really concentrate and focus and double down and take in and absorb information? Were you that type of student?
Yeah, yes and no, depends on the topic. From sports. Yeah.
If it's something you enjoyed, you could do it.
And once I realized I liked tech, because I had no idea. I had literally no idea.
But it's interesting that you say it was fun. Like, it's something just like sports that you enjoyed. You were just gobbling up through the groups, all the information. Right? That's it. You were like, it was fun for you. You were like, I'm doing it.
Day, like to this minute, like if I have an extra minute, like now, I'm learning all I can about AI. Because there's
So the graph is
year-old
the-
kid that should
Next
know
house
about
also.
this, like it's second nature. And if I don't know it, he's going to kick my ass, or she's going to kick my ass.
yeah.
And if I do know it, I'm going to kick their ass, right?
Summer is when the world slows down just enough for you to get focused. And for me, that's when some of my best ideas have taken shape. Whether you're refining products, preparing for peak season, or leveling up your brand, Shopify helps make it seamless. I love that I can manage everything from fulfillment to product drops on the go, no matter where I am. The business keeps moving with me. We run Skims and Good American on Shopify. It's helped us build, scale, and grow with unbelievable ease. And I'm not just saying that. I can open up the app right now and see who's shopping, what's trending, and where people are buying from all around the world, no matter where I am. Whether you're testing a new idea or building the next big thing, Shopify is where you start. Visit shopify.com/aspire to launch your brand. This is your sign. Start your entrepreneurial journey right now with shopify.com/aspire. My entire feed lately has been a mashup of different wellness trends. 1 minute is red light therapy, magically curing everything. The next is taking olive oil shots before breakfast, like that's normal. Oh, and apparently cottage cheese is now a full-blown nutrition plan. Honestly, I say leave it to a professional. When it comes to my health, I want real advice from actual doctors, not TikTok. That's where ZocDoc comes in. It's a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and instantly book an appointment. We're talking more than 100,000 doctors across every speciality: mental health, dental, primary care, you name it. There's no doubt that you'll enjoy ZocDoc. You can
dat is dus een grijs.
take your insurance and nearby and come highly
Maar
rated
als
by
ik leer dat
verified
is
patients.
leuk.
Once you find the right doc, just click to book. Most appointments happen in 24 to 72 hours, some even same day. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and
dat
go
noemt
to
die type tattoos
ZocDoc.com/aspire
black
to
and
find
grey
an
tattoos.
instantly
Oh, black and
booked
grey.
top-rated doctor today.
So, mes krijgen niet black and white tattoos. Ja, maar zijn niet zo doen.
ZocDoc.com/aspire.
Oké.
ZocDoc.com/aspire. I used to think making amazing and healthy meals at home
charcoal
would
grey
save
with
a ton of
point.
money, or even
Yeah.
worse, a ton of time in the kitchen, which
Zoals
can be
grey,
difficult when
charcoal
juggling
grey,
work
black.
and being a mum to four. But every plate proves me wrong. Their meals are not only quick and easy, but they also taste so good. I just made their crispy buffalo ranch chicken with roasted potatoes, and it honestly tasted like something I'd order out, except it cost way less and I made it in under 30 minutes. Every plate makes it easy to switch things up with a rotating menu of delicious recipes like cheesy Mexican street corn hash or sweet soy.
Shit, okay, let's see what we can do. So I went to a local radio station, KLIF, and literally we connected a 8-hour VCR to their board, right? And took the output of their radio and recorded it on 8-hour VCR tapes, took it back to my house, encoded it, then put it on our website, audionet.com, and I would go on all these forums and Prodigy and CompuServe and the internet, and I would say, hey, you live in Dallas, and if you're from Dallas, and you want to know about Dallas sports and Dallas news, you have to do all these 5 steps, but then you can do them. And then, first day, 10 people, next day, 100 people, next, month, 1,000 people, and then we started adding more and more radio stations, and then, probably 6 months later, we were able to do live.
Did you know that that was going to change your life? Were you like, this is the beginning?
Yes, because I remember having a meeting with everybody and saying, if this works the way I think it'll work, this company's worth $5 billion. Without any doubt in my mind, because it changed everything. Everybody thought I was a moron, right? Dude, we'll turn on the television.
Yeah.
Dude, I just have to turn on the radio. But I'm like, in an office, you can't just do that. Like, there's no televisions here, there's no radio for now, but back then there weren't. So it was the only media device on your desktop, and they had more bandwidth. So like, people would listen to Cubs games, people would listen to soccer, football from overseas, right? It was the only way they could get it. And back then the laws were different, so I could just walk into Best Buy and buy 200 CDs and encode them and just put it on our jukebox, and people could listen to everything. We had, 400 plus radio stations. We played Christmas music on loop all year long. I mean, just all the stuff that you see on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then we got the video, all the stuff you see on YouTube. We were doing in 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, until we sold the hour in 2000.
Which is insane.
Insane.
I mean, the idea that you sold that company to Yahoo for how much?
$5.7 billion.
So you were right, this is worth $5 billion. It really was.
Turned out, yeah.
You like cheap.
Yeah,
Amazing. Did you have a bunch of partners at that point?
well, we had gone public.
Right.
And so we went public in July of 1998. And at the time, the broadcast.com IPO was the biggest first day leap in the history of the stock market.
Wow.
Which was so cool.
That's so cool.
It's like the minute we went public, and then the stock market closed, and it went from $18 up to $72, and then finished at $62.75. And all of a sudden, $300 billion. So we went straight to a bar, and we turned on, and so we had to turn on like CNN and all the networks. And every time they mentioned broadcast.com in the IPO, we took a shot. And we couldn't see, oh my God.
Completely smashed.
And then we had to get back to work the next day because, like I told everybody.
Yeah, well, you've got to keep that stock price rising.
Well, sure, all these people trusted us.
Amazing.
They put their hard-earned money, and it worked out.
So take me inside that Yahoo deal. Like, what did you learn? What did it teach you?
Well, there's a bunch of pieces there, right? We brought them in as an investor for only $1 million, right after the IPO.
$1 million.
Yeah, so that was
it.
a tiny, it was a tiny
Okay.
solution for the company, but we wanted access to the Yahoo website, and we just wanted the connection.
So that was like a valuable part. It wasn't necessarily about the finance.
No,
but
it wasn't
It was
financial
like
investors,
strategic.
Yeah, and so they were a strategic investor, and then all of a sudden, as our people that are interested in internet radio know, like we invented all these things that were different, and I wish I'd gotten patents. Yeah, it just killed me, because it's so funny, because I posted it on social. I found an old letter that a patent attorney had written, said, here's all the patents you can apply for. And back then, I'm like, we're too busy, we're getting ready to sell the company. And like, everything that happens.
Which is so crazy, because whenever I hear this story about you, like, you only think about the success. You only think about what you built this company, you got type
It would have been worth.
saw things nobody else saw.
It probably is worth $10 trillion. Like the whole.
Does that haunt you? Does that bother you at all?
Because I'm really well off, so I'm
You're like, I'm good.
there's a lot of shit I've missed along the way that I have more money. I'm good.
You're good.
In some respects, it pissed me off because people just think it was internet radio.
Yeah.
Right? And if I got.
Well, yeah, you don't get the credit that you should have for everything that came out.
Yeah, we started the whole thing. I mean, like, literally, if Yahoo hadn't screwed it up, there'd be no Spotify, there'd be no YouTube.
But Mark, was it really about the time, like you not being able to actually like go out and get those patterns, or did you actually understand what you were creating at that point?
I knew exactly what we
you
were
did.
creating in the value.
But you just
sure.
couldn't go out
We
and
were
do it.
different than everybody else. We were kicking everybody's ass. I mean, we were a top 10 website, literally. Yeah, I mean, we had millions of users, millions of people were streaming. Like, we were, doing video online that nobody else could do or have done. It was fun.
And how big was the company? How many people at that point?
330.
Yeah, but you have to focus, right? Even with 300 people, it's like you've got your things that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And you have to focus and double down on those things. You didn't have time to go out and think,
No, it wasn't about all the
ancillary
esoteric stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, it was like, we have to win. It's a competitive business, and we have to stay focused on being the best streamer, whatever the type of content. But things like, inserted ads, things like, pop-up video ads in front of content, all these things that people do today, we were doing, and it's been 30 fucking years. It's insane.
It actually is insane to even think about. So you actually, there's so much of what we take for granted now that you guys just invented. I can't even believe that. I wonder, so when you get this Yahoo deal, did it turn out as you had expected?
No. I mean, so two pieces. One, we sold in stock, right? Which is not cash, as you know. And so
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Because back then, when the internet stock market starts went up, stocks went down, stocks went up. And I'm like, I'm a billionaire, I like it. And I don't want to risk it. I don't need more money, I need to protect what I got. And so I did this thing called a call, where I sold out of the money calls on the stock that we got from Yahoo on Yahoo stock. And I bought puts to protect the downside from the money I got from stock.
Okay, explain that really slowly for us that might not understand it.
So a share
the collar,
stock.
yeah, okay.
Share stock. We got Yahoo stock. And we sold what are known as calls. Call on the share of stock gives somebody that you sell it to the right to buy that share of stock at whatever the price.
And like a predetermined price down the road.
So if Yahoo stock was 100 and I sold it, you can buy this at 120 and you pay me some amount of money. That's selling a call. And I took that money and I bought a put, which is the opposite side. It protects the downside. It says if Yahoo stock falls, so if Yahoo stock falls below the level I bought the 100, you have to buy it from me at that price. And I'm like,
You're such a clever
crash,
dick.
yeah, it crashed.
Of course it crashed, yes it did.
The whole, internet stock,
Yes.
bubbled first. And so I actually ended up making some more money on that. So that was part one. That worked out fine. But then Yahoo, when that internet stock bubbled first, Yahoo's board of directors just freaked out. Their stock had gone from hundreds to tens, or less. And they're like, okay, we got to cut expenses. And so the streaming side was, huge mistake. But that's a big thing.
Wow. Talk to me about your relationship to money as a founder, because I just feel like a founder's journey is so uneven. It's like you've got nothing, then hopefully you get something, and maybe it's too much and you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. My attitude is, if you're happy when you're broke, you'll be happy when you're rich. If you were miserable when you were broke, there's no amount of money that's going to change it for you miserable. And so, when I was sleeping on the floor, I still was having fun, I was yes, I was. I wasn't happy to be broke. Yeah, I wasn't happy to be
That's
broke.
different.
Right, but I was going to have fun no matter what. And so, when I sold Micro Solutions, I ended up with like $2 million. And I was 29 years old, give or take. And so I bought a lifetime pass on American Airlines for $125,000.
It's a great deal.
Oh my God.
It's a great deal.
Only mission, in my mind, I was retired. And my only mission
At 29.
Yes, morning.
All I had to do, I had this card that I could walk up to American Airlines and just show it. And I was actually living in LA, not far from here. And I was like, okay, let's go out to the clubs and find a new friend. Let's go to Vegas, let's go to London, let's go wherever.
And you used it? Oh, did you get your money's worth out of that
Oh,
125?
yes, I did. And it was lifetime
Please
pass.
tell me you can't just still use that now.
I could, but I gave it to my dad, and when my dad passed, I gave it to his son.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's so you not to do that. But I'm sure you got the use out of it in the interim.
like,
So back to the money. So you get $2 million when you're about 29. The next big chunk of money doesn't come until you've sold.
well, no, not right. So I took that $2 million, and initially I told my stockbroker, who was a buddy of mine, I want you to invest like a 60. I want you to put it in bonds, because I want to live off of this. Interest rates are higher. I want to live off of this for a while.
You had a sense though that $2 million you kind of made it at that point?
Well,
Or you knew you were going to make loads
no,
of money?
I didn't. I was willing to live like a student for a long time. But what came along was I talked to my broker, and he would ask me all these questions about stuff I knew because of Micro Solutions. And then I'd see these people who worked, it was Goldman Sachs, worked for Goldman Sachs, go on CNBC or whatever it was back then, and say exactly what I said, and the stock would go up or down. And my buddy's like, you know this stuff better than our guys do. You should be buying and selling the stock. So I'm like, okay, I will. And I just rushed. Rushed it. I turned that $2 million. I don't even know what it ended up being, 15, 20 million, right? And it was just like, okay. And then we started broadcasting. That allowed me to do more.
How do you think that your relationship with money shaped your early decisions with money?
Oh, 100%. Right? I mean, I was that kid that drove around looking for big houses and listened to motivational tapes in the car. Yeah, that
You would drive around looking at all the big houses.
Yes,
That was such
sure.
a thing for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, what do these people do?
Yes.
How do they get there? What is it that they have that I don't? What is their motivation? And that was my motivation. And so I always wanted to make more money, but I always wanted to use my time first. Right? Time was the most valuable asset. That's kind of what my dad and my parents taught me. Because, if you're grinding the same job and, not really making money, my dad never made more than $40,000 in his life. And you're stuck. You can live a great life. It's not like you can't really enjoy your life and have a great family like we did. But, there were things we couldn't do. Things, that, hey Dad, can we do this? Or can I? No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And you do the job if you can do it. And so, I wanted to really value my time first. And then as I started earning more money, and then it was like, okay, what is it that I can use this for? And it was have fun, and then, but it was still like, okay, I need to save this forevermore.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we hit it with the billions, then everything changed. Because it was like, okay, what will change my life immediately? So it was like I bought a house, sight unseen. It was a $25 million house.
No.
Honestly,
Who spends $25
I
million?
didn't spend 25. So what the deal was the guy was.
You did a deal.
I did a deal right
Roy
there.
did a deal.
Damn. How I remember this was I don't know, but he owned this company. He never sold a share of stock. It was a public company. He never sold a share of stock, and then the company failed. And so he spent 3 years and $25 million building this house, more than 3 years, lived there 8 months. And my friend said, look, it's going to go to bankruptcy and you can get it for $12 million. And he showed me a picture. I'm like, fuck it.
Done.
Done. I still live in
That's
that
a deal.
house.
No, you don't live in that
I
house.
live in that same house.
Get out of it.
7 years ago.
What a fantastic investment. That was your house. That was yours meant to be.
That was because it was just like amazing house, right? Like literally until I got married and had kids, there were rooms I'd never been in. There's still
You
rooms
couldn't even
there.
make your way around it.
There's still
That
rooms.
says a lot about you and who you are, though, because I feel like you are just so comfortable in who you are that once you've got your thing, that's it. You're just going to stay and
Yeah, it was just like, until I got married, I had no furniture. I had like one couch and a fixed screen TV, and it was so big, like, we would play football and wiffle ball, like, in the ballroom. I literally had a basketball hoop in the ballroom of the house, and so I could just get some shots out. It was like amazing. It was so much fun.
Looking for a better way to refresh your summer wardrobe, Daily Look is the #1 highest rated premium personal styling service for women. Daily Look connects you with your own dedicated personal stylist, a real stylist, not an algorithm, who curates a box of up to 12 premium pieces based on your body shape, preferences, and
Tenang.
lifestyle.
Hey,
Try everything on in the comfort of your
kita
home. Shipping is free both ways. With flexible delivery options, you can receive a box every 30, 60, or 90 days, making it easy to fit your wardrobe refresh into your schedule. Daily Look saves time, takes the guesswork out of shopping, and offers a truly personalised experience with the same stylist every time. Elevate your style by signing up at dailylook.com today. Take your style quiz at dailylook.com and get 50% off your first styling fee with the code ASPIRE. That's dailylook.com, code ASPIRE. With my busy work and travel schedule, I've recently found myself hitting a wall. Not a massive crash, just a slow, steady pace. Less energy, more brain fog, and I just couldn't figure out why. That's when I chose Function. It's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see and the insights to actually take action. With Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from hormones and heart health to toxins, inflammation and stress. You can even add MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secure place over time. It's a near 360-degree view of your body. And that's why experts like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Cuban, and Dr. Jeremy Youngman stand behind Function Health. This time of year can look bright and busy on the outside, but inside, so many of us are running on fumes. Function helps put a name to what you're feeling. Low testosterone or DHEAS might be draining your drive. Cortisol could be throwing off your mood, and if your vitamin D or magnesium is low, your immune and nervous systems are taking a hit too. The symptoms are real, and now so are the answers. Learn more and join using our link. The first 1,000 get a $100 credit towards their membership. Visit functionhealth.com/aspire or use gift code ASPIRE100 at sign up to own your health. If you're always on the go like me, making wellness a daily habit can be difficult. But thanks to Symbiotica, they make this daily habit that much easier with on-the-go, high-quality, science-backed supplements that support your mind and body from the inside out. Standout products include magnesium L-threonate, designed to enhance focus, reduce brain fog, and support restful sleep. The liposomal glutathione supports glowing skin, gut health, and healthy aging, while the Shilajit liquid complex is known to help boost cellular energy and cognitive function. Every product is thoughtfully formulated, with several, including the glutathione and vitamin C, using liposomal delivery for faster nutrient absorption. If you've been looking for effective support for energy focus, mood, or skin health, this is a great place to start. It's one of those small things that can help you feel more like you again. Go to symbiotica.com/aspire for 20% off plus free shipping. That's symbiotica.com/aspire for 20% off plus free shipping. I think the audience that I have really wants to understand, how do you get started, right? Like if you have an idea or if you've got something that you believe in strongly, like how do you just get out of the gate? And I think that really what I want to ask you is almost what matters more. Is it the idea or is it how you execute something?
So if you would have asked me this question 6 months ago, I would give you completely different.
Well, I'm so glad I got you now.
Yeah, right? Because of AI. Like literally this morning, I got a question from a kid in high school, and I get so many emails, and every now and then.
You are unbelievable at answering.
Well, if somebody I like, right, I'm going to respond immediately. But like every now and then, I'll be okay, some kid to see what the question is, right? And they said, well, same question, how do you get started? And I was like, okay, first thing you have to do is learn AI. You have, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, you've got to spend tons and tons and tons of time just learning how it works and how to ask it questions.
Is that what you're doing at the
Yes.
moment? You're spending
Yes.
time. So talk me through that. What does that look like? If you're a founder right now and you want to just learn AI, what are you doing?
Just asking it questions.
Just asking it questions.
Just trying everything that comes out that's new. It's like the early days when I first got started. Every day there was a new technology. Every day there was new software. Every day the PCs and the networks were getting faster. And bandwidth is getting faster. So it was just a concept, oh my God. And AI is the same thing now.
What do you say to someone who says, yeah, but I don't like AI. I don't want any more technology in my life. Like, what is the answer?
The phone.
Basically. That's it. It's like do or die.
Yeah, that's like saying back in the day, people, I don't need to use the PC. I don't need to use the internet. I don't need a cell phone. Wi-Fi.
And those businesses died.
Done.
Yeah. And there's so many examples of that, right? Brands that just didn't transition,
Just say,
didn't
bring them
update,
gevaarlijk uit,
didn't do
hè?
what they needed to do, and they
Log
died.
onto the internet,
Yeah.
didn't figure out it's just like all the stuff you have to learn, right? For Great American Skin.
Yes.
It's never ending. It's a never ending competition. And now,
I never knew it.
it's harder than it's ever been.
The hardest.
Maar
And
het je
changes
nog nooit
every day.
zulke potatoes gehad op jou nie.
You know,
Alles
you
is
saw the
net
stuff that came
wat
from
klein,
Cuban, right? Where
klein,
people are just typing in things and creating like great content.
No, I mean, I was at the Google Summit last week where they
So when they showed you all this, right?
I mean,
but
it
they
was,
wanted you to see all this.
you can't even fathom that what you're looking at isn't real. I'm like, wait a minute, what is so good about this? And they're
It's not like they have
this
5,
is
6
no,
numbers anymore. It is like
crazy.
the realest stuff
Even
ever.
kyk
Now,
nie nou die ding.
the good news, so there's multiple parts of this, right? If you're an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, and you start playing with it to get a sense of how it works, how to market, it becomes like a mentor. It becomes like having, an entire staff of 1,000 business professors.
That's how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, because you still have to be smart to do it. Like if you would say to me, Mark, I need a commercial for skins. Like I know how to use prompts, but I don't have the creative side of it. I don't know, like, okay, if you're using a 35 millimeter camera and this type of light, you need this type of aperture, you need this type of angle, and you need to, you want these.
So like nuance of expertise is still really
Oh,
important.
more important.
And the more you give in AI, the more you're getting out of it.
Right.
Like that's my limited understanding. It's as good as what you give it.
Correct. Now, it's going to come up with stuff that you couldn't even fathom. It's that good, and it's the ultimate time hack. Because now, okay, edit that together, let's see what it looks like. And then you look at the dailies and you're like, okay, that looks good. Okay, let's shoot a little bit more and see what we get. Now you don't got to shoot shit. Right? But you still got to be able to know how to edit it. Yeah. You still got to know how to tell a story. And you're
Thanks football Jay, thank you.
dramatically. So before
Also hit that $ button.
Here's my 30s, here's my 60s, right? Maybe we'll do something long form. We'll see, because on TikTok people do like this or don't like that. And, let's see where the fit is and what the algorithm supports. Now you just crank out 50 different things in 6 minutes.
Moet jy nog 'n tand kom
And
maak?
you get to ABC test it and see or
wow.
run it through. But you
Shit,
still need to have quality qualified people.
Hy's net uit.
That's good.
Ek sien hom ja. Net. O, gaan nie werk ja.
You're just like, it's much less. So you're thinking about AI as in, this is a replacement for some level of creative output, for some level of the number of staff that you might need. So it's almost like shrinking everything that's
Yeah, I
needed
mean,
at the
it's
beginning.
no different than like CGI has changed over the last 30 years. Using digital, you went from analog cameras to digital cameras, so you can use your phone and it's 4K, and then it'll be 8K, right? So there's things that you don't do now that you did 5 years ago to create content, and so it's just one more move forward. But for starting a business, like you can say, okay, here's what I want to do. I have this idea where I want to sell these cards that say aspire by evergreen. I want to do a business around this. Write me a business plan. And then you get it and you say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Update this. Okay. All right, now that you've read my business plan, put together a website. Design, boom. A minute later, you're looking at the first proof of your website. I mean, to me right now, there's no better time to be a startup entrepreneur because you have an expert in your pocket. You go to ChatGPT or whatever, then I just ask it.
But I love that at this stage of your journey, Mark, you are using that. Like as accomplished as you are, as successful as you are, even you are starting older.
And it gets weird sometimes too, like,
I'm going to take a picture of your phone. Like, what apps do you have that I don't?
I've got everything.
It's all on there. Who's teaching you about it? Like, are you is it all self-discovery, or are you like engaging with?
I need a
Is Sam Altman on speed dial?
No, just myself.
Okay.
It's fun, more fun to learn. Okay, I need a business plan for a mug that says Aspire on it that I want to sell through skin. Write me a business plan and the best approach to take it to them, okay?
Alright, let's count this out. First off, the main idea is a stylish mug branded with the word Aspire, sold in collaboration with Skins, leveraging their brand power and audience. Why? Executive summary. We're launching a premium mug line that complements Skins' lifestyle.
me and I'll leave it later, okay?
Unbelievable. All of these things that used to take weeks and weeks and weeks, and copywriters and editors and graphic designers and
Everything, right.
specialists
And you're meeting with your team and going through, what do you think, and everybody's always got to give their opinion because otherwise they don't feel valued, right?
and that takes time, that takes energy, and that, yeah.
And so if you can consolidate, now, do you still need people who can copyright? But yes, but those people
You just
need
need
to be.
far less.
Right, well, it's just, you need fewer, but maybe not, right? Maybe you just, those copywriters have to learn how to use prompts in AI. And they have to know which AI will take those prompts and give you better output that's suitable for your businesses. And then the editors would be able to take a video that it creates, or the script for the video first, and know how to use it within an AI structure like VO, which is the video version, right? And so, because if you don't know how to translate the script into what VO uses, and it's changing every day now, whatever comes next, then you won't have a job. But if you have those skills as an editor and a copywriter, and you know how to translate them into AI, so that your prompts are really, really good and quick and efficient, you'll have a job for life.
Of course. So if someone starting a business now needs to learn AI,
All of it.
gobble all the information up.
Day one, learn everything about AI, and like I told this morning, read books about entrepreneurs, because there's still the heart. The AI isn't going to deal with your heart because knowing what the grind is, the work, and the fear, because I can get AI to write a business plan for this or anything for that matter, but if I'm not willing to do the work, if I don't understand that I might be broke for a long time, if I don't understand that now it's easier for anybody to start a business, so now there's more competition, not less. I don't understand that it doesn't matter what the AI tells
Because
you.
you read a lot, right?
Yeah, I tried to, but now it's all reading about AI.
Yeah. But so, all right, so you want people to read books about entrepreneurs, and what's probably the last thing they need to do?
The last thing is just to experiment. You know, you've got to try stuff that feels uncomfortable. You can ask the AI, how do I build a mold? Where's the best way to build a mold? And even like one of the beauties of AI, it'll help you create molds that'll be more efficient wherever you send it to build your first, prototypes.
We're in a whole new world.
Whole
It's a whole new
Literally,
world.
Emma, 2024 was, might as well say, black and white 1920.
Well, which to me signals so much opportunity.
Oh,
right?
it
Because when we
changes
start
opportunity.
right? But when we start to think about, okay, traditionally the barriers that stop people from starting a business, where they live, where they come from, education
Gone.
level, it's gone.
Gone,
You're
right.
saying that's out the window.
Oh, yes, as long as you have that smartphone that can download ChatGPT and all these things, not even paying up, right? You can ask the questions, like you have access to me, you, the best professors ever. Now, it doesn't mean,
There's no excuse.
no, you may say I need money to do this, but then you just have this ChatGPT. How can I do this with no money? What's the best way to start? Like, how can I create a prototype the least expensive way?
Oh, yeah.
I know what needs to happen to those businesses, right? Anybody can now ask those questions.
Anybody. So given everything that you know, the experience of building multiple companies, the experience of investing in all of these very kind of early stage founders, I guess my question to you is, should or can everyone be a founder? Can anyone be an entrepreneur?
Can they? Yes. Should they? No.
Thank you. That's the end of that. Tell me why. Go on, give me the reasons.
Everybody's got attitudes. In this country, that's what makes this
Jy
country
kan nog vanaf wat
every
nou
country in the
toe.
world.
I say
Twee
that.
secondes.
Right? Because in the UK, not everybody thinks I can start a business.
Nog zelf is er.
No, absolutely. It's not this. It's woven into the fabric of society in
It
America.
doesn't matter
You
who's
can
president,
do
it doesn't
whatever.
matter what party's in charge.
It's doable.
No problem, football. Thanks for supporting this
We think,
this
I have
live,
an
man.
idea. And if I have an idea, it can become a business. And then you go on Google, or now you go to ChatGPT or Gemini, and you say, has this ever been done before? Show me anybody who's done it and how it's turned out. Oh, nobody's done it before. Write me a business plan for this idea. Okay, and 2 seconds later, let me go through it. I can do this, right? But then,
But not everybody should do this,
there's
Mark.
this line right here.
What is the line?
The line, when you step over that line, you're in. And it means you gotta do everything you gotta do.
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Right? It's not like, I'll go raise money and I'll hire
No,
people. That's
you gotta do
failure
it.
right there,
Yes.
right? You gotta be the one to do it. Most people aren't willing to make that.
So who shouldn't be a founder?
Like, if you want structure, you should not be a founder. Now, you can be anal and deal with details, but if you think, okay, you know, I want my life to
En ek raak van die idees
you
nie
know, I
dat
want to
alles
work 9 to
so
5. I want to be a founder because I'll have more time for myself. I'll have,
Funny all of those things, Mark, when you say that.
am I wrong?
No, you are right. It's just that certain people have a liberty to be able to say those things and other people maybe not so much. But you honestly believe that. So if you're looking for structure, if
Zit
you're
weer op
looking
de
for
rechte plek.
familiarity, if
Ja.
you're looking for your days to be
Yeah, like I have
pretty
more
much the
control.
same every day.
Yeah, you don't, like, you won't.
If you're looking for balance,
Just forget it.
maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can make it work if you have, you know, enough money to work your way through it. You own the finances of your company, but your customers and your employees.
Nou, ik kan even kijken aan die dingen je doen hoor.
You know, and that doesn't even.
Maar dat is wat je zei, ik heb nog eens zo ook gehad.
You work 24 hours a day to do that. Yeah, and so it's, I mean, you know it in your industry better than anybody, right? Because it is non-stop. Somebody comes in, they have an idea. Oh no, you know, Emma's wrong. She doesn't get to feel anything. That's not the way people buy.
And you have a window in time as well, right? You're not good forever. Most founders are not great.
No.
Like musicians, you know, I feel like there are these like golden years
Yes.
where you're like in it, you're on it, everything's
And you
coming
match,
your
right?
way,
And
and
you match, right?
stars align. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
right. Your field is the match to what people want.
Yes.
And music's a great analogy, right? Because what was a hit yesterday?
And today.
Same with cars. Things that, oh man, everybody wants that.
So what are your red flags? Like when you're in a pitch situation, what are the things that to you you're just like, that's a no-no?
They think there's a magic bullet. That if they raise money, they can go hire somebody to do A, B, and C. And that's what I think most businesses fail. Because
So die onderpart is
founder
basically klaar nou.
don't have
Yeah.
specific skill set. And, or that something's not working that they expect it to work. I thought the short this would sell. I thought, you know, we're losing $20,000 a month, but only I had more money for a bigger marketing budget. If only I could hire a marketing person. If only I can hire a salesperson.
It's always kicking the can down the road.
Right, to somebody else that's gonna be some super person that, you know, magic bullet. Well, you've got to do it.
You've got to be the bullet.
You've got to be the bullet, right? If you want the magic bullet, it's not going to work.
Have you ever seen anything contrary to that? Like, has there ever been a time where you've met somebody and actually they've defied?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's people, you know.
But it's rare.
It's rare.
It's just very, very rare.
Right.
I've heard you say a million times that you don't need money to start. So what do people do when they don't have money to start?
What I did, you know, first you gotta find the right product or service. More, if you don't have the money, more likely it's gonna be a service. You know, like right now.
Als mensen kop kan golven naar de andere kant toe, hebben we dingen. Ik denk dat ik die weer bel, maar ik is nog bezig.
Right now, you just said $1,000 and a laptop, you'd be on
If I
fire.
had access to a library and $0, I would be all about AI. I'd be able to kick me out in my rooms, you know?
People the room.
Yep. So they kick me out. And then I know that I can walk into any small business.
Ja, toen, je was dan gecontact worden dit.
I know you're thinking about it. You mess with chat.
Maar zoals kruisen of iets hier op je arm.
Just like
Kruisen.
Uh,
Heeft die kruisen over?
nee, hij wil ik ben gevraagd worden.
Nog weer. Veel wat kruisen.
What do you think that the best founders do that separates them from everyone else?
they love your product or service so much they just love to sell it. They realize they're not convincing somebody, they realize they're helping somebody. You're gonna look good in this place. Let me show you how. You're gonna look good using this software. You're gonna look good, you know, using this AI will make you more productive or profitable. You're gonna be smarter when you're done reading this book, whatever it is, you know. They are so convinced that their product is going to make people's lives better. Why wouldn't they want to sell it and talk to as many people as they do?
I love that. What do you think, Mark, separates, I guess, somebody that has a real viable business idea from somebody that has like a hobby? Like, how do you know when something is like, this is a thing that I can turn into like an actual viable business?
There's two pieces. If you're so committed to dreaming about it, you dreamt about your business, right?
Over and over and over.
You would wake up and you'd write yourself notes because you didn't want to forget what you dreamed
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Same, right? So
I cannot tell you all the time.
Exactly. That's it. And then you got to see if it's a real business because you might be so, you know, hot up in it, but who knows if anybody's
How do you
doing it.
know if something is viable?
People are buying it.
That's it. People are buying it. That's it.
They'll Venmo you, they'll send you money. That's it. How else do you know?
That's simple.
Yeah, now, like, you started, you sold a few, right?
Yeah.
And you went to, I started with one customer. Once I got my one customer, then I have enough money to go do something for the second one. David John talks about selling t-shirts on the corner. And then once he sold, his lot that he had, he used that money. I think people think it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, everyone feels like it's
slow
overnight.
grind. This is slow grind.
I talk about this all the time in my own business, but certainly on Shark Tank. What is the difference between someone that should just continue to climb the corporate ladder and someone that should go out on their own? Like, do you see that very clearly?
Yeah, I mean, what are you good at? People tend not to put things together. People tend to get rewarded. And whatever it is that makes you good or got you to be good, just do more of it. Now, you may reach, a level where you can't go higher for any number of different reasons. And then, you can look at going to a competitor, going somewhere else, or starting something on your own. But when you're good at something, you're moving up the ladder and, you're getting results, there's a really good chance that or at least you should be rewarded.
Yeah.
And, that's the reason to stick with it.
I feel like there's just for so many people, they'll be in a corporate job feeling that they're not getting properly rewarded. But that's not the reason to necessarily go and start.
No, I mean, that's what weekends are for. That's what nights are for. Should I quit my job? When do I know I should quit my job? You don't until you know you have a company.
Don't.
Yes.
And when do you know you've got a company?
When
the
you
money
buy it.
starts. When the money starts coming in.
Oh.
But it's as simple as that. So what do you say to people then? They're like, okay, I've got my day job, I've got my side hustle, I'm working on the weekends, I'm seeing some customers. When and where is the time to go, okay, now I've got to apply myself fully?
I mean, when you see your bank account.
Are you making it that simple for everyone?
Yes.
Like when you can afford to
Do you
live?
think differently?
No, I think it's really difficult for people because, sometimes you can get stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? And I think the hardest thing is actually when you've got a business that doesn't take off. When something takes off, you've got total clarity. When you've got something where you're like, well, I only work on this for like 10 hours a week, and if I could apply myself a little bit more, you end up in that,
Right? Because, at that point in time, it's typically, all right, I need more inventory, right? Or there's something, whatever it is.
There's like a barrier.
Right, there's a barrier. And then you deal with that barrier, and you may need your job to pay for more inventory. You may need to say, okay, I gotta save my money so I have more inventory for my company. Whatever that barrier is, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do. I mean, I think there's a lot of headlines right now about people, like graduates that are unemployed, and I just wonder what you would say, or what your advice would be for new people that are in
Same. Yeah, I mean, go find a job, because you just spent 4 years paying to learn, right? When you have a job, it doesn't have to be a perfect job, but you're getting paid to learn. I mean, yeah, you're getting paid to learn after paying to learn, right? You spend all that tuition money, so whatever business you go into, wherever you work, you're gonna learn stuff. If you go in with the attitude that it's just a job, I just, go home, but you go in thinking, okay, this is a company. This is somebody's operating this company. I may be 10 layers down, but at least I can see what they do and learn some things on how they approach it. And I might think to myself 9 months later, 10 months later, okay, I've learned what I think I can learn here. I don't like it, go get another job.
I think that's really valuable advice. And if I think back to my 20s where I worked a corporate job for years, that's what it taught me. It taught me like, how do you run a business actually quite
And sometimes you learn what not to do.
Mensen luisteren nog wel snel andere goed doen, tenminste.
It was a great kind of training ground for me because
I
I really
learned more what
understood.
not to do than what to do when I worked in corporate
Yes.
America. And that's why I think people get caught up. I'm not fully fulfilled.
Ik like die podcast.
You spend 4 years in college, that's what you
That's the mindset shift.
Ja, mensen leren nog eens goed hoor. Of het triggeren iets wat hulle praat.
Your purpose is a check, and if you can appreciate it, it's like I'm learning every day.
Yes,
It's a
whatever you
different
start,
thing.
right, you're gonna have to go through a learning process.
Yeah.
Using ChatGPT or not, you're gonna have to go through a learning process. And if you can do it on somebody else's dime, and if in the back of your mind, I want to be an entrepreneur like I did. I was always looking at that stuff because I knew I wanted to have my own company at some point. So every day was a chance for me to learn. Even if I got to file. And I think now it's not any different. And when I graduated from college, to be honest,
Do you think it isn't any different?
no,
Really?
no, like when I graduated from
You don't
college,
think there was just like so much more opportunity years ago? Like
no, hell,
Really?
hell no.
Oh, I'll challenge you on that one. Yeah, I mean, so, okay, so I think that, for example, if you went back 30 years, for me, it seemed like there was just so much less competition, no?
Well, just because it wasn't all around, you can see it.
Ek geloof
You
nie so.
know?
That's true. That's fair.
But
Maar as nog,
now,
kom ek so sê,
But isn't that so
daar is nog
much
steeds
harder,
goede
like,
wat undiscovered is.
Ja,
Soos in
baie goed.
sing jy, technology wise, veral technology wise.
Het kan nog kwai verbeter.
Kwaai verbeter. Dat er nog 'n titelmasjien gemaak word wat ink in het hierso. Die mense hou 20 jaar terug. Dit was er nog geen camera voor me geweest.
Ja.
En as iemand van jou gesê het, nee, is mal waar.
Ja. Nee, ek stem maar aan.
just learn all this shit.
En nou,
reading
maar dan kom en
Maar dit is nie ons almal as mens dink te vinnig dit is onmoontlik. 'n Mens is so die environment wat ons gou vinnig doubt in onsself en dis eintlik hy step by en dis hy te wat dis kom hy
sê met jou comfort zone. Ek bedoel.
ja.
You can start with no money down unless you were just selling your time. You know, I'm shutting your driveway.
Dit is die reeds die ding wanneer jy in jou comfort zone is wat
Daar meer as op.
Ja.
Something, then you go to the manufacturer, you go to the distributor, and you drop ship it.
There's ways.
There's no need
There's
to.
ways. What's something that you wish every first-time founder knew?
Sales cures all.
Sales cures all.
No sales, no company.
That's it.
No exceptions.
Because people get annoyed with all the other stuff, annoyed with their model, the
Ah, wat ek
marketing,
guys,
and it's like, you need sales.
Ek het dit swaar, hoe swaar my geleer het wat ek het hom geleer toe ek in Soros verkoop het.
Sales, focus
Toe,
on like
toe besef ek,
owning
yes, so.
that story and
As 'n
just
talent
being the best
creator is
as dit wat jy nou doen.
wat ek nou doen. Ayos.
You'll figure the rest
Ja.
out.
En once ek het
All is through to that sale.
ja, besef het
It doesn't matter.
en ek
what you do.
doen dit toe. Ek
Anything
het in
else.
Pretoria gedoen in Durban.
Why do you think people
Nee, wat.
Just
Dus ek myself, nee, wat.
You know?
Nee, dit is so.
En sy het kan verkoop. Ek gaan nie broke as my bro.
Nee, dis die groot ding.
Ja, het was daar gewees net. Kliënte gehad het. En dan post iemand miskien so op die status. Dan sê ek wie wat gedaan, nice like. Yo.
Ja.
Net daar spark conversation. Nou wanneer kan ek sê drop in die post. Dis nou.
Kom, ja, kom
Drop in
nie.
die post. En rondom met
Ek raak geskrik op. Die wat doen die man. Hy wil ja,
nee, maar-
ja. Skrik dat ek sê van
Dis 'n lekker dingetje. Is nog geen maak. Ek sal weer in dit gaan. Ek wil verkoop. Ek sal weer in gaan, maar sodra kyk die ding is dit vir my nee, waarom ek YouTube begin het nee.
ja.
Is om meer ons moet almal moet 'n bietjie meer geld hê. En so die guy ook sê so, as dit gaan nie om wat jy doen nie, is hoe consistent jy doen. Sien, so my plan is die gewees. Ek kom in die shower
Ja.
en ek sê vir my vrou, ek gaan 'n YouTube channel begin. En 'n YouTube word nou. En ek push YouTube, ek push hom.
Ja.
Toe ek gemonetiseer is. En ek word gemonetiseer.
Ja.
Het 5 maande gevat om gemonetiseer te word.
Just sit. Wanneer die uit en aanhou.
Hy doen aanhou. 5 maanden om as ek is geweest. Revenue vir 'n BET. Maar as ek dink as ek hier gaan kom, as jy ja makliker hier is, eie monetize is, jy stap vorentoe.
Nou
So-
lê dat is.
Die lys maak nie vir my geld. Nou.
En dan
En
bou.
dis die swaarste ding nou my bro.
Just.
Om 'n capturing video van dinge sien. As jy 'n capturing video maak, net 'n videoetjie wat video. Hy persoon moet van volle 8 minute om is.
Just.
Hy moet nie kan skip nie, nee, die moet so hy 8 Wat is ook moontlik.
Ja.
Vir my is dit soos 'n die moeilike paard.
Ja.
Sien. So
Dat
as
is
'n paar goedjies wat ek moet nou koop nou vir my. So 'n stencil maker. En 2 towels, die chips in is 2 towel nou.
Just so.
2 towel. En dan het ek 'n tripod koop. Tripod om my phone om te sit.
Ja.
Soos dit aangaan, 'n goeie camera, maar goeie camera koop vir my actually. En ek het 'n iPhone se camera gebruik, maar lekker goeie camera.
Ja. Nee, mens moet net aanhou en uithou.
Daisy key.
Dis regtig net so.
Ek het 'n poter gedoen.
Ja.
Dis laas dink ek. 'n Ander iemand wat jy was baie geservice. Om sien te poter kom.
Ja.
Toe hy poter klaar doen is, toe stuur hy my waar hy my live, en ek is mos live nou, so sê.
Ja.
Toe stuur hy iemand waar hy my live, 'n R600 vir my.
Just so.
Toe moet sê, "Yo, is dit nou?" Want ek het dis kers.
En hier kom my deur en hier kom.
Miskien die mense Well, as Everton sing. En dan my bro, ek luister gister in 'n rapper J Cole sê dat moenie opgee nie. Hoof, wie wat nee? Nee jong. Ek dink tog iemand besig is. Waar is hy man? Die God se waarheid, waar die Here. Jo, ek is Wat sê julle hier?
Please, I'll fly you to the game.
What's that for? Like, seriously.
Lekker man.
Go to lunch. You know.
Jy voel my pap. Jy kom uit in die voel pap. Oh.
Oh, of course. Right. No,
We should tell them, kids, figure it out. That's true.
Nee, maar nie dit is so bro. Jy het dit nodig.
Ik zoek een klein ding man.
Downlighters.
Ik heb door het paard en ik in de
Downlighters. LG of downlighters.
Beide kleine LED-goedjes. Maar het moet net zo'n 1.5 volt is.
Nee, wat. Hier so dinge sê hier so.
That's really what you're optimizing for, to spend time
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the AI stuff. I mean, I really get into it.
Niemand verstaat me. Hulle moet 'n stoorbaan maak, jy.
Oh, stroop, okay, verstaan.
Knowing how to use these
Ek kom van dit maar. Hy gaan nie werk mos onder.
When someone asks you,
Nee, maar dit is wel iets wat ek dat is maar dan moet met daar net
I
beleven.
do a lot of
Ja.
all the different companies. We haven't talked about cost per that's
Ah, nou nee.
really want to ask you about cost stuff.
Maar weer kry ons lekker skoop. Daar kom moet inhou
I'm a
bro.
very political person. And I saw, I mean, I saw you out.
Yeah, like I said to Mos,
I do not understand why you're not.
keep on grinding because your life can change in 1 year.
Ja.
So as dit 'n
Sure.
Het kan simpel gebeur.
Zit uit doen en dan
Is ja.
en dan kom jy deurdruk. Maar ideaal gezien al net dan sê jy vir jouself, kom ek begin dit. As jy weer sien dan sien jy nee,
Was nie so groot.
was nie so groot. Mens kan
Do you have the feeling that if you run,
soos byvoorbeeld nou met die wat ek ook doen goed af. Toe kyk jy toe die boere van ewiging, né? Good, dan nie verstaan jy. Dan kom hulle mos op bymekaar en dan sê hulle hoor so ons in die omtrek benodig. Wie wil staan om so 'n ding te begin? En toe wil die man die ding begin nie. My baas kom praat toe met ons en hy sê ek klim af op die lorry waar ek nou was. En dan gaan hy ding vir hom maak werk. Sien jy? Ou broer, en op so 'n manier net 'n man om humble te wees en nog baie te lief.
Boom.
Hè?
Toe die boom nou weer.
Kom ek stel ek so uit. En dan sal hy nou soos luister. Tussen ek en 'n handlanger en dan sit boute in. Kap aan. En nooit geweet dat as 'n mens so graaf kan vat, jy verstaan.
Ja.
En kyk hoe kan ek dit nou ook van net van deurdrukke broers, party oggend toe gaan ek heiling gedoen kry net. Nee, as jy weer sien dan so mens moet maar net deurdruk.
Niks anders. Het is baie moeilik sometimes, but is moontlik man.
Ja, ek sê net net byvoorbeeld groter besighede. Mense kan mos nog sê mos skryf bietjie van die goed. Want as ek vat, okay, ek weet by ons is bevoorregte kinders, skoolgelde en boeke. Mense kan ander mense ook verstaan nie na toe begin op. Vir net dit. Speel bietjie rond. Een maand bene, een maand uit. Jy sê, dan kan die mense 'n bietjie maar dit is nie onmoontlik nie.
Anything is possible.
But most of the chance that you have to buy Japan, which go to Canada, which just you guys have to work generic construction. But brand name it's and so there's just things like pharmacy benefit managers that are middlemen that are keeping the big pharma manufacturers from working with us because they know if there's transparency, it'll screw up the market. So now with this stuff from
Ek vat nou byvoorbeeld nou soos die dit en nou ek nog gesê, "King,
now the manufacturers of the
en
brands,
hierdie ding alweer klaar."
they think they can get out
Waar eerste keer stam.
Lyk so groot in die begin, hè.
Ja,
Baie werk.
I think it'll happen, it looks like
maar
it'll
die
happen. If
weersien
that happens,
hoor hom uit.
brand medication prices,
they're going to tumble. I mean, it's a win-win for consumers,
for sure,
basically.
for sure.
And why did you choose this category for a new business? Because it's kind of outside of everything that you've done in technology and...
Yeah, because, I mean, I saw an opportunity to disrupt.
Dis hoekom ek sal sien is dat ek
Yeah,
Ek like so
So
om,
we're trying to simplify
ek like mense ook, soos hy ook hier is ook in die kerk, ek gaan hom veel sondig en hom sê, easy man. Soos, ek sê vir die mense, kom, enige een wat my vraag en sê, gaan druk die
Wie is
oor.
ook weer die kruise wat
Pak, hy kom ook nou binnekort. Gaan hy ook kom? Ek weet nog net nie wat hy wil hê, maar hy het gesê hy moet vroeg.
waar is wat kan dis ook wat?
In Boesman rivier Kenton. So ja, van Alexandria hy kant toe. Dus is London toe kan.
Ja.
Ja.
Yeah, I'm not doing it to make money, right? I don't need the money.
Het was my 30ste. Wil hulle ons kom chap met die so. Toe sê ek vir hulle,
30.
toe ek 30 geraak het.
Ek dink is 27 nou. Ek is 27. Kom ek. Toe wil hulle ook gekom en sê, is die hele family dan nou? Of iets vertel my toe jy 27. Daarom ek my kop nu is 27.
O, nee, maar as ek nog 27 was, ja.
There's lots of stuff that I miss, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't really dwell on it. I try to learn from it, just not repeat it. I wasn't nice enough when I was first getting started, you know? I literally had one of my partners say, people are afraid of you. You know, I didn't listen all the time, you know, because I was focused on doing what I was focused on, you know? And so I missed things, and, you know, that negatively impacted people who worked with me. So there's a lot of mistakes that I've made, and that's just inevitable, you know? And I wish I could have done it differently. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it differently. But it's done, and I try to learn from it.
But you really have learned from it, because and I mean this in all seriousness, you are one of the nicest people I know.
Wanneer is 'n paar granders terug? Wanneer is 'n paar granders terug?
Want ek het laas Sondag toe gaan en vang ons op 6 gooie, né? Is ons wat ons aan was, het daar 5 babers uitgekom. Toe sê ek vir my broer, hoor hoe maak hulle boepie bop. Maar ons mooi granters daar. Ons gaan miskien môre goed. Daar is 'n Frans so.
Nee, hy hoor dit met 'n plak sak jong, joh. Nou goed jy al weg mos.
Hy's geil man. 'n Plek wat ek like om te gaan vis.
Ja. Ek wil graag gaan. Ja. Maar jy nog nooit daar gewees het.
Hulle noem hom so blou elf.
Ja.
En dan kry jy 'n koolster. Gewone eetplek is te klein vir hy vis as jy hom neersit.
Tjo.
Is groot te goede.
En nou kool is so klein hierso.
Hy is so donker blou. Ek geskrik, ek het nou so jare terug. Toe vang ek op by BP en Jeffries. Ek en 'n ander oom. Toe haak ek so 'n kol ja. Ek skrik toe uit op die water. Waar kom hy masjien?
BP.
Nee, AB huis. So dit is
Kyk hier sê my gou ry toe daar.
bo en daar so afdraand wat jy afstap. Maar om nou vir jou te verduidelik hoe ver is hy. Is dit seker van die NG Kerkie bo, né? Daar by die karavaan is so. Is opdraande bro. So en dan obvious nog na jou sport. Daar is verskriklike goeie sportsklub langs wat jy nie ver hoef te loop nie, wat jy nie eens nodig het om so dit hang maar van wat jy jag haal.
Ik wil niet fazer. Maar ik wil het liefst van.
Ja, my broer is nog ons Islam. Hy moet trek vieslike goed uit te broer. Just my dinge wat ek het al kyk ons kry as ons vang rooi bankies. Laagwater, hy loop jy ja, bra. En dan as dit laagwater wees, dan kom jy uit. Oujaars gaan vis ons daar. En toe op oujaarsaand, ons en ek en Dibera word geworried toe broer, want ons kyk ons en ons kyk al in die son en hy sê ons moet wegraak die water. Toe ons daar afspring, hy man verloor sy sak vis. Ek verloor my bril en my hoed. Sny met my bene en my ons is meer rugsak en hy vis is ons so op 'n manier. Ja, met op 'n manier uit te broer, ek sê vir hom want toe ons van daai klip af spring af onder toe raak ons weg onder die
Jo.
Ek respek.
Ik ga bij niet zien.
Jo. Ja, wie sal kan deurnag, want dan weet jy. Maak hy toe om jou. Hy moet jy as jy gaan miskien met stootwater. Nee?
Als ik heb een kamala, wa?
Is daar by die klub?
Oké.
Is daar by die klub? Daar's gevaarlike visplekke, broer. Jo, ek sal hy ding gaan as ek weet dit gaan nou weet ek mos nou ook 6 to 7 hours. Dan stoot hy mos. 6 to 7 hours dan is hy weer leeg, verstaan nie? So as ek sommer kom ek sê ek sal deur nag gaan vang of deur die dag so gaan vang in die oggend en jy weet dan kom jy die aand uit. Maar jy kan nie haar gaan vang vir 2-3 ure terwyl jy stoot en jy gaan verdrink. Ons is lucky geweest om uit te kom so.
Ja.
Ek nog of my vrou het altans vir my sê nog 'n prys gewen by die een toe wen sy vir die best dress was so 'n kompetisie vir en sy R5000. En met daai R5000 gaan sy en sy gaan koop vir my die stok. Uit die London uit. Pen 6000 koffie grinder. Ja, en die bluefish stok vir R4000. Eerste vis my ou wat ek gaan vang met hom ons kom hy control en stok vol krappe uit hom. Riesa. My vrou was dit oor die lag. Maar die vis kom as hy kom hom. Ja, sy by dan buite. Beetje lekker.
Because it's the version of you that you did it wrong, and that everybody else knows it's wrong.
And you make mistakes all the time. It doesn't matter. I make mistakes all the time. Every year there's a handful of people that I'm like, this is just not going to work. And they were with somewhere else and they have the experience and on paper they were amazing and they were fully vetted and but it doesn't work out. For whatever reason, that's when I talk about you got to kill your
Deze
darling.
business.
Like just
Nee,
don't get down in it. And adjust.
Stuck in the slump.
Nee?
Beat it with slow bag. It's fast.
Maar zijn ouder hier komt wie vat hem.
And muscle grabs and aids in
Ja, ik heb ook vaak, ja, maar ik had heel wat.
videos from class with slow.
Ja, zie je niks.
Nee, zie je, nee.
Je ziet niks.
This is the art of play.
Die BTF man.
Nee bro, is mijn haar die. Mijn haar brandt bij. Mijn haar brandt bij die TV jongen joh. Hij zei er 50k hè?
Ah, eerlijk gezegd, ik voel helemaal dat ik het tegen moest maken.
Nee, ik zou uitriemen bro. Ik zou uitriemen nog. Morgen bij voelen niet jongen. Ja, maar dat is recht. Van weet ik.
Hij zei net.
Hij rol ook op het. En één rol, hij rol.
Dit is eigenlijk die rol, die zeker in die avond.
Nou ja, ik wil nog. Nee, niet goed te doen. Ja?
Ik denk dat ik een gresser kan rijden.
Ja, bra.
I wonder what is left in your life for you to accomplish. Do you feel
Moet
that?
ook zo rijden, dat het ook wel op een tijd.
Don't let the wrinkles.
Nee, dan is het krijgen bij Jay dan.
Wie ben jij niet?
Jay wat?
Ben je elektronisch?
Ja, JG elektronisch.
Alle mensen die misschien die aard niet.
Kijk
Je
hè.
moet je merken, misschien wel wel.
Je gaat een quotage gevraagd zo jong. 150.
Ja, nee, dat is een merken. Je krijgt eerder wat je kan zeggen.
Dat is prestige moet zijn.
Maar dat is Chinese maken.
Nee, ik zoek niet Chinese. Die gezien is het Chinese. Chinese hij. Zie je die kwaliteit? En los een brandmerk onder. Nee jong. Nou hij is Chinese hij.
Je bent die 95.
MTN ja, mijn 5. Ah zo. Hij moest de boer van MTN hij.
Oké.
Maar hij heeft daar. Zo. Ik ga denken, nee man. Al die printers is maar die zullen. Tussen de hier is no Chinese.
Dan moet je, als je printer wijst, moet je wel effectueren wat gebruik maakt van Japanese ink.
Ja.
Kijk, Japanese ink is ook beste ink. Daar wat je haar krijgt. Hij wordt blacker.
Ja. Kijk. Nou, dingen ze. Hij machine van hij bro. Hij kan niet schatten bro. Zien ze hij stickers print no? Nee? Dan die printer moest kat er ook in. Bij ja, niet allemaal. Nou, ik zoek je moet een kat er ook in. Print één kat.
You start from that.
I spent 27%.
Nee, ik moet zo bij die eerst, hè. Ik moest bestellen van daar, ik verdomme het.
This conversation.
Maar de print, nee, hij is hier zo niet half niet.
Ah.
Nou, alleen probeer, alleen merken, maar dan kunnen we misschien dus delen. Wat we alles supply. Nou, ik weet niet of je aannemen die eerst stickers gezien hebt. Het is 3D effect.
Oké.
Maar weet dat je aan mij kon laten. Ik heb nog stickers wat ik later wil, want ik wil het wel. Weet je wel, maar het is gewoon een bosman dat ligt.
We're happy to have him.
Oh.
Dus ik kan ook kopies zetten, ik kan hem ook die dansen. Ik heb een feeling van Alex gezet. En die daar kan je doen.
So what we want to do is, in order to
Nice,
use
man.
sports franchise,
Dit is de toekomst joh.
Ja, maar van net zo'n mensen voor een meter, voor een toe.
for anybody who may be
217 meter.
maybe
Zie je?
Oké.
Dus ik bestel maar dan bestel ik 4 meter en meer.
Iedereen is geprint. Iedereen is geprint.
Ja, dat is een heel prins.
Lekker man. Maar het is een Joburg.
En dat is nou wel.
Oké, als je-
Ik gebruik hem zo voor hier guys die ding.
Voor de overheid.
Ja, als ik begon zelf alles betaal ik in one time.
Ja.
Ja, dat moet nooit gehoord niet zo uit.
Ja. Maar als ja,
Dus
als
ik
ik,
heb het normaal hoe weer, als je niet zo kan beginnen, aggressief kan ik dat ook. We gaan er weer aan gaan.
ja.
Dat is alleen hoor. Wat is nou met mensen die met de contact? Wat vind je? Maar lang niet.
Sis. Ja, ik heb gezegd. Hij gaat een beetje van social media af. Zo,
I don't have to go into
Nee.
Wat is er man?
kom eens in mijn maand, ja.
days worrying about as far as
Gaan we klomp goed beginnen?
Bro.
I do almost everything via email.
Maar als je fijn is, hè, bro. Als je fijn is, hè, ons wil ik moeten beginnen.
Ik zie hier nog weer een leven van om te jagen. Ik praat op paarden zoeken.
Ja.
Dat zijn je ook man. Ik heb genoeg gejaagd man. Dat is dat ik moet kiezen.
Ja, mijn bro. Lanka, brother. Brother, ik weet dat is.
Ik ga wat kiezen. Ik ga alle dagen Balai sabi ko, kasi kaya wala kung sa ito, na ay balay sabi ko.
Something that you love to do. And it's
Complete it ida sa man. Met een nieuwe Land Cruiser.
Ja.
Splinter niet daar bij Toyota.
Kom maar hè.
Why would you? Well, honestly, I am.
Maar waar gaat het joh? Moest jij nee? Oké, awesome hè. Is recht ja. Als hij nog iets moet doen hè, hou laat wie dan ik zo'n klas. Als je bij werkt nog eens nee, maar als je nog goed tijd om te doen, doe het maar. Nee. Alleen cruisen waarom? Ja. Nee, haar weet niet om te branden.
I work cream color.
Yes.
Without number plates.
Ja, dat weet me haar weet niet hoe niet.
Die man was ook niet zo geweest en deed die man gejast. En dan gaan hij man.
Ja, man wil hier meter wees.
Ik ben niet aan het doen, nee. Dat vlak nee, door is zo niet meer te lezen, joh. Maar dan heb je echt die manager van Vriend nou, joh.
Ja.
Ja, loop man, ik weet net eens. Je was zeker maar 5, joh.
Nee bro, ik zei je maar je tijd gaan aanbreken man. Ah, ga een stukje van mij ook eens.
Ik kan niet fotograferen.
Ik kan niet. Ik ben getrouwd in Europa. Ik zei er is wel iemand niet meer bro. Op enige jaar kun je jaris. Enige oomlik kun je. Ja. Enige tijd in een jaar kun je oomlik is. Hoe leef ik hem aan? Yes. Hij, mijn broer, is genoeg voor mij. Ik heb moeten naar Heiding alleen. Per ongeluk.
Okay. No, it's amazing.
Ik wil zeggen dat mensen dit mee, joh. Ik heb herinnerd dat ik daarom te zeggen. Nee, maar alles kan recht. En dan zeg je, hoe breed je het zo praten? Ik zeg, nee, hij zegt geloof mij. Je hebt die 4 in de atmosfeer. Ik moet recht omhoog, man. Hij zegt met meer wat ik het doe. Zoals die zei dan. Je hebt niet zo duidelijk aan dan.
Ja, ik heb proberen mijn bro. Ik liep, die moest ook een zaak doen. Van, hij wat?
Wat zien hij dat ik zo dringend denk.
Waar, ja, yes. En hoe hij begint het ook. Hambo begint man. Ik lijkt ook wat niet van inherent. Ik zoek haastel met mijn roze.
What is something you valued when you were starting out that you
Maar je kunt het zo praten over, je zeker maar het is heel gekregen. Dat je kunnen het in helpen, je moet het doen.
Ja?
Zodat het door wordt.
Bouwen mijn kinders echt mee. Voor die. En dan volg je.
Dat is ook een lijf van wat je naam vast wil doen zien. Ik zou maar giving back again, verstaan je? Wat zei je, dit kan eten met een maat. En dan onze, echt één ding, stel dat bijvoorbeeld met hele dingen. We are giving back while we don't have.
Ja.
Dus dan ben je nou zelf gebouwd, die maar je wil geven.
Asya, wat je jou. Hoe kan je hem bij in de geboren? Dat is een noos. Ja, nee, mijn bro. Kan je die stukje ook doen? Of...
Wat we zelf nog heel wat.
Als recht leren, hè? Zo.
Thanks for joining me on the Aspire podcast. For more strategies on how to build the life of your dreams, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Kijk, nou, wanneer krijg je kans om te eten goed doen? Ik eet niet anders in de ochtend, dat ik pap eet. En als ik heel dag bezig aan is, niet ik. En ik vanavond is zo. Schijt zo. Zo. Style.
Sê, aan die begin is het makkelijk, hè. Maar zo lichaam raken gewoon. Je traint zo lichaam. Maar ik moet nou beginnen zo maandag, jong. Nog moet. Sê, once I pain that is.
Hij wil niet weg.
Mijn bro.
Scrolling for hours to find
Hij wil niet weg.
Dat is je hard woord.
in your business idea and search. Voila.
It provides not only text assistance, but also the associated suppliers and sources of
Hij is lekker sag aan, hè? Nee, ik schrik zelf. Ik heb mij lang was geweest, man. Toch, hij 125 man. Ik zei, joh.
Ik heb mezelf al 125, 129 en la rond.
Hier, dat ik geschrik, joh.
Alison Ellsworth built a modern solar empire from scratch. No roadmap, just hustle.
En nou moet je weten, hè.
sheer grit.
Hera, je is nog 30 nou, hè. Je moet nog weten, pa. Je testosteronvlak gaat zak lelijk nou.
How do you even
Hij
start?
de dronken.
Hij gaat decline.
Hij gaat nog terugwerken, nou.
Hij gaat nog voel. Ga je voelen, nee, maar performance is niet meer. Zo zie je.
Ze zijn was. En die dieren ook nog. Die bikkie al wat.
Ja.
Maar ik zie nou, hij heeft eigenlijk van mij al onder. Een breekje, hij gaat deel te maken.
I'm the only female founder of beverage and exit ever.
Zo voor die bonen, hè. Nou gaan die vlees in hier, zo.
Met,
Zien ze.
met wat ook al.
Zeker.
Welcome to Aspire, Alison. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to talk to you because I think the audience that listens to this podcast are the type of audience that are noodling about ideas in their head, thinking whether they should start a business, and that's exactly what you did. You took your own issues, created a solution, went out, created a business, you've grown that business, eventually sold that business, which is so impressive. But what would you say to somebody listening right now who's thinking about whether or not to take that leap? What would be your advice given all you've gone through?
So I think the most basic thing in the world is you just have to do it. I think that the rest, people always think there's just like perfect moments.
Well, lijkt het ook nog zoals een deelte van zijn haren of wat.
There's no such
Maar hij
thing
kan
when
dat
it
zo
comes to
voelen.
business, and I look back at
Ah.
those days and I'm so blessed that I didn't know
Yeah.
anything.
Maar stop.
Naivety is a really
Yeah.
good thing.
It's like there's no fear. You can just jump off a cliff. There's no risk. You don't care. You're putting your heart and soul into something. And so now it's funny, like everyone's like, what are you gonna do next? You're gonna start another business. And I'm like, yes, but I know too much. It's almost harder. So
Yeah,
you just
it's
have
true.
to do it and just like have no fear.
That's your advice. Just do it.
I know, and it's so annoying because it's not the best advice, but it's true. Like, people think there's a magic sauce, and honestly, it's the person. I feel like it's the entrepreneur, it's the idea,
Yeah.
it's the passion, it's the grit.
You know, I think your advice is really truthful though, because I often
Look
say
at
the same
this.
thing, like, you just got to do it. It's a bit like having a baby. There's no like perfect time. The stars don't align. It's like you just got to one day
You
decide
do
that
it,
this is
and
what
then
I'm
you
doing.
forget all the bad, and then you do it again, and
Yeah.
then you forget all that.
Hopefully, that's what's about to happen. You know, you're going to forget it all and you're going to go full circle. So I want to understand a little bit about your upbringing and growing up. I think you grew up around a lot of entrepreneurs. Did you know that you were going to start a business? Was that always in your path?
No, I just
Hey.
know that I'm what to do.
Hoe gaat het?
And I think when you have that, you don't
Ik mag je klaar, nee, man. Hallo, los is dat?
And even throughout
Is it?
coffee, that was like a really big struggle. I think people got to know it, and I definitely grew throughout it. But my dad was an entrepreneur, my sister was an entrepreneur. They're all hustlers doing multiple different things. My dad at one point was making $30 million a month, lost everything, rebuilt a business. Like,
Zeer.
Making 30 million a month.
Is een lekker sier, man. Is dat zeker een...
And he just rebuilt, and he's now doing another business, and he loves the build. And that's the thing with me, like, I love the build of business, I never do it for money. I think if you do it for money, it takes out the passion. Now, money is amazing.
It's amazing, but I'm guessing you
Amazing.
didn't need money. If your dad was making 30 million a
Oh,
month, for example, did you need it?
we never left us anything or set up a trust or, no, absolutely.
Oei, bring hom tot aan die
I
by,
turned
Rolle.
18 and paid for my
Ja,
car.
tot er hier,
my
bro.
rent,
Ja,
my
ja.
school. I
Ja,
still
gaan
was
die sjaplik.
paying student loans. Like, it's wild. I know, you can pay that off now.
Maar is nogal gevoelig haar, né?
Weet?
She's like, I'm gonna plan, I'm gonna plan. So for me, no. So my parents were divorced pretty young. I was raised by a single mom. So I had all this inspiration of entrepreneurial around me, but then I saw how hard my mom worked and how hard I had to work. And so it's just, I don't know, learn from the beginning. You gotta work hard.
So take me back to that moment, because you actually started making what is now Poppy, but you were making, well actually, even let's go back before that, you're actually trying to solve a problem because you had some issues and you decided that you needed to, you'd figure out a way to do soft drinks better.
Yeah, I know I had a bunch of health issues. Anytime you travel, you don't have access to good food. This is before it was kind of a craze, and LA was like, oh, everything's gluten-free and all of that. But I just couldn't find anything that made me feel good. Started drinking apple cider vinegar. Now, it tasted disgusting, and I was like, okay, this is not sustainable. And I just went to my kitchen.
Waar, Danny?
This was around 30 years old. And it was one of those things where I wanted to start a family. I wasn't pregnant yet. And I was like, if I don't feel good, you don't need to bring a life into the world. And so I just did that, and then I ended up getting pregnant maybe like 3 months after that. And I didn't want to go back on the road and kind of go work. So
You were working like a regular corporate job, is
I
that
was
right?
working in oil and gas research. So it's very entrepreneurial though. I'd be in the middle of nowhere running huge multi-million-dollar projects, and I wouldn't have a boss, and it was just me and the city council or the government are working through contracts. And I didn't want to go back on the road and have pregnant, and so I took our product at the time, it was called Mother Beverage, and I just started selling it at the farmer's market as a hobby. And it was just a fun hobby that I was just bored. I had no idea, I just wanted to
Ik
share
heb dat
it with
kijk
as
weer
many people
gevaarlijk.
as possible. And I was just like, why not?
How do you even start to make a drink? Because that's where people go. So I feel like, I've got this amazing idea. I feel like I can go and sell this at the farmer's market. What did you actually do to get started?
So a huge mistake people do is they take all of their money, whether it's from their savings or their credit card, and they put it
700
on
rand.
some lab or someone who produces a product, and they end up spending tens of thousands of dollars to get like something that you're not even sure how you made it yourself. So then, is it really yours? So for me, I use Google. Good old Google. And I just Googled how to create a beverage and what kind of ingredients. And you can order anything online nowadays. So I got myself
650.
scale, I got
650.
great ingredients and flavors and SodaStream, hello, no sparkling water, I swear, literally. And then we would go to like the local hardware stores and we bought huge vats.
When do you want to come?
We cleared the lead out of our yes, and just put like vinegar back
1, 2 shots.
in our
You mustn't drink alcohol when you come with it.
Yeah,
Ay,
so-
sana.
You're Googling, you're buying all of the stuff, and you're literally like mixing a drink, and I was thinking
Yeah,
about tasting it
half past
to get to
one.
the place where you're like, oh, this is delicious.
Exactly. And I was never forget one Thanksgiving at home. And I'm like, hey, this is crazy. My mom was like, do you want me to drink vinegar? You were insane. I was like, no, try it. And I remember my brother sat down and taste tested with me, and he kept giving me like validation. Like, you're not crazy. This is actually really good. And so, 3 weeks into the farmer's
Lekker
market,
zijn.
like Whole Foods did come by our boat, and they were like, nothing like this is in Whole Foods. And that was the first moment I knew I had a business versus a hobby. And the light kind of went off, and I was like, oh, okay. And I looked at my husband and I said, we're putting our life savings into this. We're going to open our own manufacturing facility, and we're going to go all in. And he's like, you just bought it, like we just bought a house.
3 weeks in?
Yeah.
And you're like, how many months pregnant with this?
I was 3 months pregnant. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you
I
get
went all in.
yours and your husband's life saving. And you
Is daar gaan het regelijk is net zo, net zo,
Yeah, we took about
Shake.
$90,000.
net zo, zoals hij misschien net zo.
Ja, ga dan.
Just
No
so
worries.
much
Okay.
money for us.
Maar
I
verder,
got you.
And we,
Maar verder
what I
is
love about that
fuck
is
me.
that we were able to
Yes,
kind of like upgrade
Lekker.
how we made the product. We had a facility. We almost brewed it like we had a brewery friend was like, oh, help you guys.
Zo
figure
tegen
this
die
out.
gemoed
We got all
komen
the
we
right
anders.
certifications and did it.
Maar hoe lang per
Actually done a
uur moet ik trainen?
So what does that look like from going to...
Wat het met die weer maar gezond is, is.
Gezond is man. Nou, ik wil dat gezond is. En kijk hoe veel touch zo, misschien
Oh, ja, ja.
Dan misschien touch of is.
The business side of the business, your team, your infrastructure, how did you like get to that whole point?
Kijk hier maar.
My husband.
No.
Yes, and so I will never
No,
forget.
you did not have a product in
So,
And we literally.
is in elk geval ja, ik kan mijn plek. En dan is het zo net die klok basically. Als we nou kijken, maar gewoon in die Dave compassie, niet maar. Zal hem uitvliegen. Als hij Dave kan inwerken, kan ik.
Ja, kijk, maak eens zaken.
Sensodyne cavity plus sensitivity shield against cavities and sensitivity as well.
And grow together with African Bank. Your stockpile is backed by secure and rewarding investment options. Visit a branch near you with your stockpile members to open your account. African Bank.
Belangrijkste is dat ik het om deurgezet is dat.
Ja, nee.
Het is al mensen omgekomen.
Nee, maar ik heb al zulke experience gehad, al mensen om elkaar betaald. Twee. Iemand in Pretoria, kom maar. Iemand in Pretoria.
Waarom hoor? Wow, hij is er.
Ja, in Pretoria en toen kon hij zelf. Toen hij zelf.
Because I think so many people think, when is
Yeah.
the time to go out and raise money? When should I even think that? For you guys, what was it at that 10-month point? Sales was like what roughly? Like,
Maar als meeste dingen zijn gerookt, zie je.
Oh ja, ja.
Je mag maar zo roken. Cigarettes, weed, whatsoever. Alle oxygen uit je lichaam uit.
Wow, dan.
Zie je.
And then we finally were like inching towards the 500,000 in revenue, and we just like had no money. We're still just grinding, and we were also we can't scale this. We can't go big if we don't get some real investment. We had someone that was going to give us some investment. He was like, I have money, but I have
Maar
no
met die laatste is eerste.
connection. And we were like, don't take stupid money that can't work for you. And actually, really the connection.
Not everybody knows that.
The connections are way more important than the money.
And it's kind of easy to come by. It's all of the rest of it, like having a true investor who's got, you know, a track record and some understanding of your category and hopefully some relationships. Like that's the stuff that's really important. So you decide to go on Shark Tank and you apply just like a regular person.
So we didn't know you can just apply online or that they reach out. So I literally, it was the first time I got a babysitter. Spoiler alert, I got pregnant with my second, like right away. So I was about 3 months pregnant. There's something that was like 3 months going on with our second. And I remember we went and stood in line at one of those just like open casting calls. Actually, Mark Cuban had on his Instagram, we're coming to Dallas, come by. We did it. It was the first time I ever got like a real babysitter. And we went and stood in line for like 8 hours. And once we finally got to the producers, they're like, this is incredible. You guys are going to sail through. It took about 6 months. Kept going, and then I finally was like, you guys, I'm 9 months pregnant, I have to go on the show.
Yes.
But I went anyways, and I was literally on the show 9 months pregnant.
Als jullie nou nog
Had the baby 10 days later.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
The excitement was like,
Yes, honestly, it kept me very calm. I was backstage, like, I cannot go in labor, and of course the producers are probably like, this is going to make great TV if she goes into labor on our show. But, you know,
a whole new meaning to
it was
the
good.
pitch.
It kept me very calm throughout the whole process.
That's just absolutely wild. So you go in with the mindset that you're going there to get a check and you're not walking out without.
We were determined. And it was either that or we probably would have gone for business.
Determined and desperate at that point?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
A little bit, because you stretched every part of your resources. So you go in, you do the pitch. I've seen the pitch. It was like such a lovely one. I would have definitely invested in it.
Yeah.
But and you land your investor. What was the deal that you did on Shark Tank?
So we did 400,000 for 25% of the company, which looking back, I don't even know what we asked for. I don't even think we thought about it. We just yelled deal because we were just that excited. And I've always just heard of, and like we had no idea our shark was Rohan. So I had no idea who Rohan was.
You didn't?
No, they don't. I mean, they don't tell you who your sharks are till the night before.
No, I guess not, but you kind of lucked out, right? I mean, talk about the perfect guest at the perfect time for the perfect pitch.
Exactly.
I mean, the stars aligned for you, like, yeah, unbelievably well. So you didn't know who he was, but you did, well, you got $400,000 for 25% of the
Hello?
business, and you leave feeling like,
Is jullie dol?
We made it, but also literally.
Oké, jy laat kos of iets myself. Wat gaan jy laat?
It's crap. You know what, you're right.
Oké, nee. Ek gedog jy eet iets.
We just hear like
Okay,
everything that
yes,
we've been doing, and I
okay.
think this is a really big mistake
Zeker amper
many
klaar.
entrepreneurs, or maybe just anyone starting a business does, is they focus on the
Sorry,
product
hoor.
and not the brand. And so
Okay,
it was one of the first
sure.
moments that
Okay,
we know
dat is waar.
that we want to focus on the marketing. I think we got out of the kitchen, we stopped manufacturing. I always say, like, should you be putting caps on bottles, or should you be talking about your brand? Like, all of those things were just like what we wanted. We never had really opportunity to do it to that point.
And I would argue that, you know, you can transition a brand. The product is what the product is, right? Customers don't have a love and an appetite for it. The jig's up, do you know what I mean? Whereas you can take your brand and you can tweak and create your packaging and change names and that's typically what happens to even the best brands, right? When you start with a great brand, you just got to have a great product, and you guys had an amazing category busting product from the outset. When you think about taking investment, I think it's such an interesting thing, and you mentioned earlier that, you know, you knew you had to find like not done money. How did you think about the relationship with your investor? What does that look like today? I'm just interested to understand, like, you know you need money, but did you know that you should be listening to everything that he was saying? Like, how did the relationship shape up in the beginning?
Honestly, it started out really amazing. So I truly feel like Rohan invested in us as founders and the product, right? And at the end of the day, it is his money, so he had a lot of say. Going white pants, which means healthy, and color, which means fun. And we did a lot of that work, and it was me, Rohan, my husband Steven, and this other person we worked really closely with, Stevie. And it was just us four that did it, and then we launched it March of 2020, right as COVID hit, and it was still just me and my husband, 2 employees.
No way. And what was the reception?
So it was the first week of COVID, which was really stressful, but I will say that it was the first time everybody in the world was thinking about their health and wellness. True. And reading labels. True. And going to the grocery store to look for products that were shelf stable and pantry loading and doing all of those things. But we had our update on Shark Tank the second month of April, and it was explosive for us after that, and just sales were insane.
That's how insane. I want the details. Give me the tea.
So,
because this is like what's been so incredible about your journey.
Our growth is insane. So first year business, we did like 2 million in revenue. Second year, we did 20, we did 50, 200, 500. Like, we had triple digit growth year over year.
It's insane.
It's insane. We're the second fastest growing beverage in the history of beverage. And then I'm the only female founder in beverage of an exit of this size ever. So there's just a lot of firsts, and it's been pretty exciting.
I mean, can I just tell you, like, I think that you did your exit like the week that we launched this podcast, and I was like, get her on because I just literally look at what you did. I mean, it's so unbelievably impressive because this category, that drink, the fact that you were creating something that was like, didn't really exist, that has opened up like the world and all of our eyes to this category and what's possible. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable.
Well, people don't realize, like, when you're starting a business, we created a category that did not exist in a grocery store 5 years ago. There was no thing, what is now called the modern soda set. Even when we first went in, they were like, we're gonna make sparkling water, enhanced water. They